we'll start recording.
Excellent. Who wants to do a quick recap?
Very, very quick recap. Alex and Julius have a conversation about, hey, is this what we fucking are? Oh god, no.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to keep Alex, which is good because we need him. Nagi goes to talk to Walsh. Walsh basically goes, I am not willing to say shit while Soshu is here because yikes.
Which I honestly think was more fair than people gave him credit for.
No, it's very fair, but it's got some. It does have some very interesting implications that none of us can sort of home in on.
Mm-hmm.
Asta harassed Walsh a little bit. He got to be a bitch. There was some party bonding around the art of creation and the art of cooking for friends. We fulfilled our bargain with Soshu. He took the canisters and his specific shit. I don't remember him taking anything else.
Some
took
platinum, I think.
He took one of the amulets against a proof against detection.
Yeah. That said, we can keep some of those, which would be very useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you collected a couple, and he was like, I don't need all of them, but I am for sure to take one.
Yep.
I'm taking mine back.
Which I also think is fair.
Yeah.
No, it's incredibly fair.
We don't need to know where he is to send him sendings.
Yeah.
It does not protect you against sending.
It will not protect you from Granny. Smile.
Yeah, he took the weird canisters. I don't think he realizes that we opened one of the weird canisters, but it's fine.
I mean, he did tell
We
Julius...
let him have first dibs, we just sticky-beaked a bit first.
Technically, Julius pried a little bit of information about, like, what the canisters were, technically.
Yeah.
But, like, we don't really know what the hell they are, exactly. Or if he was lying to us, he could have been lying. Julius wouldn't have fucking known. I think he would have been able to lie pretty well to Julius,
So Sosha's impression of the canisters was, man, I don't fucking know. They make us and the mages carry them.
Mm-hmm.
Assumedly
some sort of...
I have thoughts, but they are things I cannot express yet. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think that was the general rundown of session.
What else is there? In specific, Nagi was asking Walsh about her mom and the necklace situation thing. Just to...
Yeah.
Whatever. He remembered her necklace. Apparently it was an older symbol of Lede. Let's see. We got out of our wet rat, Soshu. There we go. I have to say wet rat first before I can remember his fucking name. This is terrible. We found out that the skulls are more prominent in the north, but for some reason Walsh decided to work with the devils instead of the golden skulls. So that's an interesting one. Julius, when he had his talk with Soshu, also found out that the one that would have been in trouble if something happened to Soshu was apparently Granny's granddaughter, whose life would be in danger. But other than that, I feel like that was most of it, right?
Yeah. So, it is the morning, and you are packed up to go. Soshu has disappeared into the forest. What are the traveling arrangements with an extra man, a whole other man who is tied up, a giant nightmare monster, and possibly a doppelganger?
So, my thoughts on this situation are if we know any way to stay off the road a little bit, maybe we should do that. But like, I feel like scary nightmare monster can be in the back of the procession. Julius can ride alongside it, so people aren't like, "What the fuck is that?" And they'll at least see somebody next to the thing.
If we want to stop into towns for supplies, we should probably delegate like 1 or 2 people to.
Yeah, maybe a group of 2 people, I think, would be the best option.
Do we have a cart? I can't remember.
Yes,
You
and
do.
a bunch of horses now. I don't know how many, though. I can't remember.
You have the 2 that you initially had,
Mm-hmm.
and then on top of that, you have an extra. You have an extra 4.
So we have 6 horses in total. Alright, good to know.
One of which is a much bigger war horse than Walsh's. Clearly bred and trained to be able to carry someone like in like full plate.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah.
Horse for Alex! Big horse.
I mean, yeah, it could probably carry Alex, if we're being honest.
Horse.
Awesome. Julius is gonna stick to his horse for now, just to ride alongside. Maybe keep Walsh inside of the the traveling arrangements.
The cart?
Yes. Most likely bound or somehow with shackles and or rope, I suppose, and with somebody in the cart watching him, I think would be a good idea.
Okay.
I'd say Nin would be in there because that would be very funny, but I don't think she's the one who should be watching him. I don't think her perception is good enough for that.
Rathray does offer to Julius and Nagi, who both speak Infernal, very much that they would prefer to not go into town.
Yeah, that's something I think we'd all agree on. Also, Julius, I think, when it comes to, like, getting Walsh out of the tent, Julius definitely makes a show of, like, look at the creature that we brought to protect the tapestry. It's Protector. He's not gonna say who has the tapestry, but he's definitely like, maybe he wants Walsh to double think, possibly going against them again.
Don't try any shit, bitch boy.
So Walsh does have to make a sanity check, because
Get exposed to Rathray.
Get exposed to Rathray, loser.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, he doesn't have a modifier.
Oh no.
Because his is based off of his wisdom, and he has a 10 wisdom.
Yeah, that
Well, but
tracks.
he did roll a natural 20.
No! Damn it.
So he kind of, like, you pull him out, and you kind of make this show, and he kind of looks up at at Rathray, this giant sort of glitching mess, and you see him kind of blink, shake his head once, and then look at it again. I'm sorry, what is that?
Julius is gonna look at Rathray like, do you want to introduce yourself or no?
Rathray, who has kind of, like, sort of positioned themselves a little bit back, sort of head tilt, looks down at Walsh. Rathray was given kind of a summary.
Yeah. Julius would have at
and-
least told them what the heck Walsh was to us and why we attacked him and he attacked us.
And they sort of lift one of their front sort of limbs, and sort of point at him with a claw, and an infernal sort of just. I'm not gonna do the voice because my throat hurts.
Yeah, very fair.
This is the priest you mentioned.
Yes. In Infernal.
Yeah. Very small.
Does Walsh understand the Infernal?
Roll an insight.
Oh, I want to roll insight for this too. Okay, what is my insight modifier?
I have no idea what my dice tray is, so I'm getting roll 20. I'm gonna roll via roll 20.
Oh, that didn't work. Oh, I also got a 16.
Oh,
you aren't able to read him at the moment.
yeah. Parker, would I have gotten a response from Rivetta?
Right, Rivetta. Fuck. What was the message again?
Hold on, I'll grab it for you.
Thank you.
Sorry, because I refreshed my spell slots and I was like, wait, I need to mark off the sending one. Ran into Walsh, dragging him back, getting evidence against, analyze kids safe, have tapestry, bringing it to God. Nathaniel stood up to Walsh, proud of them. Aster also very crucially would have had this it's done this sending far enough away from the tent that Walsh could not.
The response you get is, oh, thank the gods. Can you give us an estimated arrival at all?
I think it was a couple, like 2 weeks, right? Or like a week and a half or something.
2 weeks is the like normal travel on the road. If you don't want to travel road, it's going to take longer.
I think what Aster might send back is just 2 to 3 weeks. We are moving at a bit of a slower pace.
Okay. She responds.
Crucially, Aster is not giving any more warning about Rathray than that.
Yeah. She goes, all right, see you then. Tell them Inway and I love them. If possible, what of Nauki?
I think Aster mulls over that one for a bit.
I think you should just mention Agatha.
Alive, well, Julius has questions. And that is my last 3rd level spell slot.
Yeah, she just says, won't ask how that happened. Tell him I'm glad he's okay.
That's amazing.
You very much get the vibe of like Rivetta picked up on what you meant and was like,
She's
happened.
clever enough to.
Yep.
Yeah. Idiot. A little bit idiot. What did you do? But...
Aster was kind of considering phrasing it as Julius's father is alive and well, but decided that it was better to.
Yeah.
Not quite throw the man under the bus quite that much.
So that's the response from that.
Yeah.
Back to Rathray for a second.
Sorry.
In Infernal, it sort of looks down at him and sort of do you speak this language as well, or must I rely on translators for you? And Walsh sort of looking up at it, still not quite sure what the fuck he is looking at, which I think is fair.
Yeah.
Just opens his mouth and says in Infernal, "No, I understand you. I don't understand you. Forgive me." And I think the response Rathray gives, as to, like, they sort of, again in that Infernal, and Nagi and Othaniel are translating, "You may call me Rathray. I am protector of the tapestry that you sought. I do not have quarrel with you, personally. Yet."
Excellent.
And Walsh nods. And sort of, okay. Right. Honored? And Rathray sort of flicks its tail in acknowledgement and lowers its head back down and seems uninterested in further conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And while Walsh seems to be slightly distracted by Rathray's existence, as well as sort of trying to maintain at least a little bit of his dignity, is shuffled into the back of the cart.
Mm-hmm.
And sits. Sasha is off to the side a little bit, kind of still in guise as one of those vampiric people.
Mm-hmm.
Julius does not.
Oh, go ahead.
And just kind of seems awkward.
I think Julius, before we start, like, going on the road entirely, he is going to ask them just, so, what are your plans? Are you coming with us to the city, or?
What city?
Horatari. There's other ones along the way. I suppose if you wanted to leave to those, that would work too, but...
You're cool if I just bounce?
He looks over to Ix and then looks back at them and is like, I don't know how many days she'll hold up. She was real pissed at you.
Why don't I just, the first sort of group of people. I'm pretty good at blending in with groups of people.
Julius will cock his head just a little bit, and he's just going to... He thinks about it for a moment, and he's just gonna say, you know, there might be a way to have you make it up for us. Once you did.
I mean, that would be great. If I could, just so we could call it, like, even, and then I can bounce without feeling, like, weird about it. But, like, you know,
Julius is gonna make sure that we're, like, away from Walsh and the cart a little bit, and he's just going to ask, how does that possession thing that you do work?
Well, if it's like a living thing, sort of like when I latch onto them, they sort of end up in another place, sort of. I don't know what the other place is. It just kind of like exists, like in my head somewhere. But like all of them goes, and then I can look like them, and I know some things in their head.
And is there any difficulties with it, or if they're a living thing?
Well, I mean, if I get them by surprise, then usually no. I'm not like super practiced at it. Like, you guys are like the first major guys that I've hung around with.
Well,
Look, I know they possessed our friend, but they're just a little guy.
Yeah. Julius is just gonna, like, on top of his horse, he kind of just shrugs his shoulders a little bit, and he's like, well, it's not exactly an issue. What I'm mostly asking, and he's gonna look towards the cart, once we're near the city of Boratari, we're gonna need him to be more docile than usual. If you're able to shunt him into your little space for a little while and take him over, well, it would make things a lot easier than having a man who's bound, who's supposed to be technically a high priest of the temple. It would at least make it a little bit more convincing to have a man with some of his thoughts or knowledge. Whatever you can glean from that. At least get us through the gates. And to the temple without causing a fuss.
I mean, as long as your friend doesn't stab me, I can try.
Julius will shrug a little bit. I'll try to stay here, Temple. But after that, I think we could call us, even.
Ah. Sorry, I just, like, needed my second Parmesan on the board. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Oh no! Yeah, anytime you need to recover your food.
No. Feels bad to use little guy, but also I feel like he can help us. Or they can help us. Sorry, Ix, we'll get rid of him soon.
This is not something that I thought about in the chat because I didn't have the spoons. There is the slight problem. It's gonna be messy either way.
Mm-hmm.
There is the slight problem that there's the possibility that even with Walsh supposedly bringing us in, which is probably the cleanest way to do this, there are gonna be guards out for our arrest.
Still, we can, as long I remember. I don't know if you actually sent it or not, but that second bit of having either Ravetta or Inoue send guards to the front to escort us, it might be a good idea.
I can send that in the morning, or we can ask Irene too.
Yeah, I think, because that's another thing I want to have happen, or I think would be a good idea, because Julius can change the way he looks, Nagi can wear the hat, Like, we can have the conspicuous ones be hidden away, and we can have possessed Walsh be like, I found my child, can you let me through? And they probably wouldn't question the fact that he's roaming with a bunch of mercenaries because he left to go rescue his child. At least that's what my rational brain is saying. I don't know if it'll actually work, but that's the suggestion, or at least as good as we're gonna get, unless we want to pretend that we're, I don't know, bunch of merchants. I don't know. With a real crazy looking creature behind us, which I don't know how we're gonna bring into the city. But you know, if they're followed by a high priest, I think it's okay.
That's gonna be a fun parade for everyone else.
Yeah.
My other thought was, and this is possibly something that I can verify with Rivetta, see if there's perhaps another way in that we could take that's not the main gate.
Mm-hmm.
Also a possibility.
Yeah, there might be things
that consideration is particularly because of Rathray.
Well, there might also be stuff Julius knows about too, like ways into the city without.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm less worried about keeping ourselves disguised and more worried about how to get Rathray.
Yeah, because we'll be fine.
I have retrieved my chicken parmesan.
Woohoo! Food.
There's marinara sauce in the carpet.
Aww.
So, that's fun. And my hands are sticky. But with that, who is going to be watching? Fucking Sasha will agree to accompany you as long as they don't get stabbed.
Yeah, Julius is gonna at least try and keep Ix away from that, and I've talked with Amy, and Amy's for the plan. It's just that Ix isn't happy about it.
Yeah. So, who was watching the cart?
I think Asta will be in driver's seat, so still able to keep an ear on it, but
Nagi's pretty perceptive, right? Maybe she should sit and chat with Mr. Walsh. Sorry, I'm making character decisions, Jamie, but I think that would be a good idea for Nagi to stay in the cart for now.
And if so, I can always fit in a little bit with informing Walsh that Soshi was gone.
Yeah.
And him being willing to talk to her more because of it.
Yeah.
So, that works. I think Agathon would request one of the horses each for him and Othaniel.
Yeah. That works. They can ride with Julius. Julius
also, Asta will pass on the message to Agathon. I can't remember what the message for him was, but because I did not retain him.
Glad he's not dead.
Yep.
Loving.
I think Agathon kind of winces when you say that and goes, "Did you have to tell her I kind of got a surprise revealed? Did you really have to, kid?"
Asta just gives the most cherubic little shit smile.
Okay, alright, I see why Julius likes you.
Would you have rathered she got ambushed with it when Julius was like, hey, what the hell is up with?
No, I was gonna tell her myself. Just, myself. In like 2 weeks.
Julius, on the back of his horse, kind of strides up and is just like, well, we didn't all get enough time for anything, did we?
I'm sorry, is that supposed to be like a dig at me for
Julius just shrugs a little bit. I mean, not exactly.
I mean, like, there's a lot you could dig at me for, but, like...
Julius just kind of looks at Aster and then looks back and he's like, well, my friends don't like to hide things from my parents. Apparently.
Okay. But yeah, I guess. Okay.
Also, one last message from the sending, from the brief sending conversation I had. Rivetta said to tell you both, sort of looking directly at Othaniel and Julius, that she and Anna love you and are glad you're safe.
Julius just kind of smiled a little bit at that and nods.
Othaniel nods, and, if you, are gonna contact them again, ask me first, I might have something to say to them, if you don't mind.
I'll probably at least check in again when we get sort of halfway there, make any final arrangements, but I'm willing to do further sendings in the morning. It's just...
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not upset, I just, I wanna...
I understand. I'll let you know when I'm next doing sending. Also, if there's anything really important, you could probably ask Irene to convey it. She's a bit more practiced with sending than I am.
I know Alex can do it too, but maybe not today. I don't know.
We have quite a few days on the road. We have quite a few days on the road. We can always do it anytime you'd like.
Alright. And with that, they will finish getting on their horse and getting ready to go.
Alright.
Yeah.
Julius is just gonna double check we got all our shit, and then he's gonna double check everyone's ready to go, and then let's head out. He's about as antsy to go as anyone else.
Also, Parker, very quick question. How many amulets of proof against detection and location were there?
Before or after he took one? So she took one.
After?
How many do we have at the moment?
You have, Ixalia has one already, and then you have 3 extra.
Okay. Julius should probably take one.
Yeah, I was thinking so. If that's alright.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm actually gonna put a note in the group channel that, for things that she took.
Wow, it's my first attuned item. Whoa! I don't own any magical items, it's funny. Oh, aside from the cloak, I think, is the only magical item I have.
I don't know if I have anything magical either.
Alright.
Okay.
I am spending time on the road to attune to it also. Or actually, he might have done it the night before, too. When Soshu left.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
Oh, I hear Kitty.
There you go. There's the things that Soshu took when he left.
Okay.
It is about a day or 2 back to town. The smallish sort of historical town that was the last stop before we hit this sort of plain area where the tomb is. You can easily send a couple of you in for supplies. It's not hard to get travel rations, any of that sort of thing that you need. It does take up about a good half a day So everyone else is kind of stalled a little bit outside of town for that.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, you have the rest of your what would normally be about 2 weeks back to Horitari.
Cool.
I am not going to make us do every single fucking day.
Yeah, I don't think we should. We'd all cry about it.
If
If
you...
we did, it would take another month to get back to Horitari.
Yeah.
Why did I...
If you want to spend any time off of the road, I will need survival checks from anyone who is driving the car during that time.
I think...
Yep, I will.
Yeah, us being off the road, I think we'll probably do, like, when we would know there's high traffic on the road, probably. I feel like that would be a good idea, just to, like...
The side route that you took to get here is relatively sort of small, like a small traffic, but once you hit the main road towards Horitari, you're gonna have a lot more people there.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry, but I need my dice tray.
So,
yeah, Aster will do a survival check for at least one of the stretches.
Going off-road no matter what will add at least a couple of days. Failing your stealth rolls are going to add more time.
Yeah.
Or not your stealth rolls, your survival rolls.
Yep.
And I think that's fair.
Yes.
So do you want me to roll that now?
Yes, please.
Could I...
Could I
try... Oh, I was gonna say, could I assist?
I mean, I can fish for a crit if we want, but...
I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, Aster's gonna take at least a couple of shifts driving the cart, just to make sure that everyone gets a chance to... not have to deal with driver fatigue.
Yeah. I think Julius would want to, like, chat with Agathon as we're going to.
Yeah, I think like day 2, he does kind of at one point pick up just roll your survival checks whenever and put them in chat.
Sure.
He does kind of guide his horse to be up next to you, Julius. And he kind of, hey Julius?
What's up?
I just got a question. I don't mean this in like a judgy way. I don't mean this to be like, you know, sort of negative. How old is that Aster kid?
Julius, I think Agathon watches him just smirk a little bit and look off into the sunset, and he's like, well, he's certainly not as old as he looks.
You see concern on Agathon's face.
He's not as old as he looks?
He's gonna say he's got a baby face, definitely old enough to be adventuring, I will say. That is about as much as I can tell you.
Okay, the way you said that initially made me think he was younger than, like, 15.
Oh, no. No, I wouldn't have... that would have been levels of me when I was a child, and that I wouldn't allow.
Okay, I didn't, I mean, if he's of age, then, you know, I guess, you know, I mean, he sort of glances over. I mean, I guess he doesn't look entirely human, so I guess that's fair.
Julius just nods.
I guess I just, you know...
It's a good worry to have.
Yeah, 17's already a bit young, and you know, just
Yeah.
okay. Thanks for yeah. All right.
Hold on.
What?
How much do you know about me? I don't know what Inoue told you about me or what she had time to tell you when we came to help Othaniel.
Well, Inoue and Ravetta told me quite a bit about when you were little. Though, you know, I guess not trying to make assumptions about you based on 10-year-old you. As for sort of recently, Inway didn't actually tell me that you were in town. I don't get a lot of contact with her, unfortunately. Ravetta said, I mean,
Well, I mainly...
she said,
Sorry, go ahead.
sorry, she said you were in town, said you, told me what you did for a living, and I mean, really no judgments on that, really. I also sort of didn't, I mean, when I was younger, sort of, you do what you need to do on the road and all, so that's not like a...
So she told you that I was part of the Gilded Cage, then?
I mean, yeah, yeah, sorry, I was trying to remember. She told me the name of the group, again, kid, sorry, not kid,
He just shrugs a little bit. Look, they were founded when I got out. It's one of the high 6 in the rankings. Not that that means much. But I just didn't know if you knew. But I did have a thought about it.
okay.
Are you still in contact with the Marble Hand? Or is that just through Ravetta?
Oh, no,
Because they...
not at this moment right now, but when we get back to Oratory, absolutely gonna check in.
Alright. I mean, they had tried to tell me that you were dead and it... well... I wasn't sure if you had them convinced or if that was just the story they were telling everyone.
No, they know.
Alright.
Well, I mean, just sort of my direct contact. I don't know how much he's sort of... how many people he's had to tell. But yeah, I'm sure he was just feeding you the story. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm sure he didn't know that I would meet you at one point. I'm sure he probably thought you would just stay hidden. At least for a while.
Yeah.
Kinda glad he lied.
Yeah, I guess, I wanted to sort of apologize for that. I did want to tell you. I just... the more people who know a secret, the more chances it'll get out.
Trust me, I understand. was just a thought in my head, but... Well... If my people could ever help your people, well... It wouldn't be too bad. If they ever cross paths anyways, I'm sure we can be amenable.
I mean, the thing about the hand is we really don't like messing with organized guys.
I know that. I'm just saying, it can be friendly, at the very least.
I mean, yeah, friendly's good. Friendly would be helpful. It's just, you know, they don't.
I'm talking separate as separate, not...
Oh, like you?
Well, he kind of like looks off a little bit. Honestly, they thought they thought I was dead for a while too, so... I don't know where that stands yet for me. I mean, I'm still welcome back and I'm still part of it. I'm still one of the highest ranking, but I'm not who I was anymore. For better or worse, I guess.
Shit happens to all of us, and we grow and change off of that. So, I mean, you ain't the same person you were yesterday.
Yeah. Right. Well.
I'm sorry, I guess I'm a little confused then what you're talking about in terms of the hand.
Julius is just gonna wave a hand. Doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah. You're very much getting, like, very awkward energy off of him.
Yeah. Julius, a lot of this was like, he was asking these questions to Agathon, yes, but also it was like him talking to himself at the same time. Like, is this a good idea? Probably not.
I guess, you know, being my kid, you know, the hand will help you out if you ever need it.
Julius just nods. Try not to abuse that.
Yeah, that's generally the whole thing. I mean, if you ask for more than they can give, they'll shut you right down, so don't worry about that.
That was mostly what I was concerned about. I wasn't sure if you were gonna have a grand entrance of I'm not dead to the whole fucking, I don't know. I guess I just don't know much of what's been going on with all of you.
I mean, I'm sure there are some folks who heard the dead thing and are gonna curse my name when they find out they ain't heard of me yet, but that's more their problem, so.
Yeah. Right. Let's just hope you don't get the same welcome I got. Shinohara was not happy with me.
She one of the cage?
He smiles a little bit. Probably the closest out of all of them. She'd been running it for the last couple of years.
Oh, right. Oh. Listen, I've been living in the temple for like 17 years. I don't
expect you to know.
Okay.
He just kind of like laughs a little bit and looks off again. He's like, so she called us small fry, and that's fine. I'm quite glad that we are. It means we can stir up our own shit and they can just not bother us.
I mean, yeah, being small is always good for not, getting your teeth kicked in, but seemed like Soshu seemed like you knew him more than just this.
Yeah, you could say that. He's the man that nearly killed me last time. And he rubs his chest a little bit.
Oh! Right. I mean, that's what he does. Not just you.
I'd be concerned if the only thing he did was try to kill me. Julius has a shit-eating grin.
Shut your fucking mouth, you little
Have I said anything?
You're saying things right now, kid.
He just seems amused.
Just, you managed to get the best of him this time, but him and his people, you really ain't got a real bad idea to underestimate him, right?
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know more than most.
Just not trying to tell you what to do or anything, just...
No, I didn't take it that way. You're trying to give me some, and he'll grin a little bit, fatherly advice.
Alright, listen here. I'm just saying, the Black Devils ain't people you gonna fuck with and live for too long around, alright? Just... what they got in Horitari is small. Alright? Small shit for them. I've been where they got their hooks in more. It's not good. Alright?
Julius just nods. I may not have seen all of it, but I know enough. I've seen what they can do. And I'm glad to stay away from it for now. No need to stir up more shit with the devils. I don't need them. But that might have to change at some point. At least to get a few things of information later down the line, but hopefully that's far later when there's less of this. And he gestures to the whole fucking caravan.
Yeah. I mean, from what Walt was talking, you got them licking their wounds pretty good right now, but...
That's just here.
Yeah.
They'll recover in no time and they're gonna be real pissed about it.
Oh yeah. It's, they got a bigger hold in Holland. Once their more top brats out there finds out. Careful.
Appreciate the concern. He kind of like closes his eyes and then looks up at the sun and is just like, I'm gonna have to talk to that fucker in the wagon at some point. Gods give me strength.
I mean, you don't have to.
I mean, I know I don't have to, but at the same time, there's a lot of questions I haven't answered from him. Well, maybe not a lot, but some of them.
I mean, frankly, kid, good luck getting answers.
Julius just kind of like, he gives him one of those smiles where like the sides of your his eyes kind of crinkle, and he's just like, I can be very convincing when I want to be. Even to an ass like that.
I'm just saying he's a stubborn bastard, alright?
Julius just kind of grins and shrugs. Make him angry enough, he'll charge you.
Don't take this the wrong way, kid. You're absolutely my fucking son, god damn it.
You know, that's the first time I've taken that as a compliment.
Yeah, well. Not sure it was a compliment.
He just grins at him a little bit, and he's just gonna continue with the ride.
Yeah, he'll eventually... He kind of gives a little bit more small talk with you.
Mm-hmm.
Before eventually pulling back to check on Nathaniel.
Mm-hmm. I think, like, during the ride, depending on where Alex is, Julius might ride up to him a little bit.
I don't know if Nocturne is here.
That's
Hello.
alright. Oh, hi!
Hello.
I am here. Hello.
Hello.
Alex to receive Julius riding buddy.
I am
Dude,
beside you
hello.
on a horse.
Nice.
Just, I think somewhere, I don't know if it would be this day at the same time, but Julius would kind of, like, ride up to you and just be like, hey.
Hey.
I didn't get to say it before because I wasn't quite thinking it at the time, but he'll give you, like, a slight smile. I'm excited to see what type of person you become.
Ah, thank you.
I hope this is a good stepping off point for you. With us.
Me too. Honestly.
And he'll just kind of duck his head and probably go back to the back where he was. That's all he really wanted to say. Julius
Alright.
rides up beside you, says a few words, walks back.
Alright.
Profit.
At some point, Nin, Sasha does ask you where you get all the frogs from.
And then she'll pull out the hat. They just kind of come out of here.
He kind of like, they kind of like sit up and look down into the hat, and they're like, but there's no frogs in there.
She'll reach in and pull out a frog. You're just not looking close enough.
Fucking shocked emoji.
And then she'll hand them the frog.
They hold the frogs so tenderly.
I can't hate them. I'm sorry, Ix, but they're just a little guy.
I'm sorry you got your body snatched, but they're a little
Sorry you
dude.
got your body snatched, but you know, maybe we can fix them. Can make other
Set up,
things
what if we
too.
could make him plus?
Or yes, either one is an option, honestly. And then Nin will also pull out a rat this time.
Rat! Yay.
They're so just shocked emoji about rat.
You can have the rat, but you're gonna have to give me the frog back.
They swap the rat for the frog.
And then Nin will just kind of gently, whenever Walsh is distracted, just gonna kind of gently set it in the cart.
Walsh is not happy about the rat, but understands like they're
The
out on the
frog.
road. Rats happen.
Nin put the frog in there.
Oh, puts the frog. Oh, he's starting to lose it a little bit. He doesn't know where all the frogs are fucking coming from.
Yes.
But he's not gonna say anything about it.
God.
Welsh does not really talk to anybody outside of probably a few conversations with like Nin, and whoever like feeds him regularly.
I think Nin's probably just giving him the cold shoulder, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't actually said anything to him, just will occasionally place a frog near him.
I love her so much. I feel like Julius definitely like comes around for the feeding times sometimes, just to throw him off guard. And doesn't even say a word at some points, doesn't even really look at him. It's like he's looking past him.
Yeah, so those survival checks, man, you, Aster, and whoever else is kind of driving sometimes, but Aster, helping out. You managed to only add like 3 days extra onto your trip back to Horitari.
Okay, so I think when we hit sort of the halfway mark, Aster will let Nathaniel and Julius know that he's gonna do sendings to Rivetta and get any messages they want to convey.
Nathaniel, when you say this, Nathaniel, they very much. Oh, can you tell Rivetta that I miss her and I'm excited to see her?
I can do that, yeah.
And you very much get the vibe of there was something else they were gonna say, and then chickened out.
Yeah. Anything else? I've got 3 of those I can do, and only one of them needs to be planning.
No, it's fine.
Can I try to vibe check?
Yeah, make an insight check.
23?
Yeah, the energy you're getting is... There seems to be, like, a question on their mind that they want to ask, but for whatever reason, they're not.
Yeah.
Speaking of Nathaniel, Julius probably, during the first couple of days of the travel, probably would have been, like, a reminder to Nathaniel, like, whenever you want to talk to, Walsh, we're here for that. If you want us in there or not.
But we want to be able to keep...
nod. And... I think sometime after the halfway mark, they do slip into the tent that you had set up in one evening. And they are in there with Walsh for a while. And when they come back out, they sort of sit next to the fireplace between Agathon and Alex. And they don't say anything, but they seem very... They do seem upset.
Mm.
But very much keeping it to themselves, whatever went on.
I think Julius probably would have. I assume we're sitting here for like food and stuff like that. I think he would probably get an extra cup of tea, maybe add a little bit of sweetness in there and hand it over. Just something warm for the hands.
Thanks.
He'll just give a soft smile and nod. And then he'll take a seat near probably Alex. Alex and Aster or something.
And they are in a bit of a dour mood for the evening, and frankly, a good portion of the next day.
Yeah.
Before they seem to start being able to, like, kind of start getting back to normal.
Mm-hmm. Julius would try to do his best to, like, respect the quiet and the need to be upset, but it is definitely making himself available if need be. And once they start to come around is very... not, like, talkative exactly, but you know, like, the availability of talk to person to feel better situation.
And I think it's very much a Julius is talking, so they don't have to.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So this is the first sending that I'm typing out to you. And then Asta will use the second to relay Othaniel's message, and probably give it for Julius as well, because that seems like something that...
We need to ask about the possibility of, like, guards bringing us to the temple.
That's what the first message is.
Okay, gotcha.
Looking at another 9-ish days, would it be able to... I guess, would you be able to arrange people to meet so not immediate arrest or discreet entry to city?
Response you get back is, I don't have that kind of power, in way. Probably doable.
So this would be a question.
The second message is, understood. Othaniel and Julius both send their love, say they miss you. I think Othaniel wanted to ask something. Don't know what.
Okay. Thanks for the heads up. I'll check with Inway about an escort. And that is her response.
Yep.
Nice.
And I guess I'll check back in when we're like 3 or 4 days out and just...
I think... I don't know, how many sendings does Aster have left?
He has 1 for today.
He may have asked, like, one of the other days, or maybe this one, to... Oh, but have you met Shinohara? I don't know if you've met Shinohara.
Yes.
Okay, that's right. Okay. Maybe to check in on her, I want to make sure that the devils aren't fucking with them right now. I don't know.
So you use the last spell slot for today, or this could have been earlier, and just send Shinohara. Jules wants to check in on you. He's alive, he's well. Made an interesting friend, but wants to check on you.
It has been weeks. No one has told me what you did to the devils. Everything's quiet. I'm going to throttle him.
Yeah. Oh shit.
In trouble.
Julius, once you tell him about this,
Whoops.
we did tell her that we made it oopsie at one point, I think, but I don't know if we told her about the devil situation.
Yeah,
I guess it's on an earlier day then, so that Asta has another slot to.
yeah.
Because I feel like we did tell her, like, hey, we're gonna cause some ripples, don't be alarmed, but, yeah.
You didn't tell her exactly what.
Yeah.
Do I throw Julius under the bus here?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think Asta will approach Julius and relay that. And go, should I fill her in on the bare bones of what we fucking did?
Julius is just gonna sigh and shake his head, and he's like, I shouldn't go home. Maybe this is a bad idea. And then just, like, shakes his head. No, never mind. No, I should probably tell her this stuff when we're there instead of having it relayed by a second person, or she'll probably actually kill me. This I might get away with a couple bruised ribs. And a black eye. Maybe he broke a pinky.
Oh, definitely. So I think the reply that he sends is, while sitting next to Julius, a little bit to throw Julius under the bus. Jules promises to explain when we get back. We're expecting to be back in about 10 days.
Fucking better, or his organs are gonna end up in my next painting.
Julius is just cringing.
Love her.
Asta doesn't relay the threat, but just, yeah, no, she says you better.
That wonderful, terrible person. I love her. God damn it. I'm glad she's still kicking and pissed at me.
If she's alive to be pissed off, then...
Shinohara is going to kill you.
I'm sorry!
That's fine, you can bring Asta with you and he can just...
Oh, she won't care if you're there or not. She's gonna kill me anyways.
I know. I wasn't saying to prevent you being murdered, I was just saying I can res you afterwards.
Oh, that would be an interesting scenario, because I don't know what's gonna happen if he dies. I don't know with any of my characters, to be honest. Oh, anyways. Julius is sweating a little bit more.
Do you want to RP talking to Walsh, or...?
I want to, yeah. But if anybody else has anything they want to do.
I mean, go for it. I don't have anything.
Okay. Well, I think probably one of the later nights, bringing in food, just kind of, he'll think about it for a moment, and I don't know if he wants to take anyone in with him or not. He'll probably at least let Alex and Astra know where he's going, and that he wants to talk with him.
Yeah.
And then bring Walsh some food and water.
I'm gonna actually vanish for a little bit, because just this conversation feels like it's gonna be uncomfy, and I'm not quite in a... So...
Oh, who knows?
I'll be hanging around, and just let me know when it's done, but I'm gonna zone out for a little bit, because uncomfy.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, Julius will bring the food and the water and untie his hands, I guess.
He, when you enter the tent or the cart or at any point in which you have been in his general vicinity,
Mm-hmm.
there has very much made that sort of stoic head up in pride, shoulders sort of back. And when you do this and you hand him the food, he gives you a very thank you.
Julius just shrugs a little bit, but he is going to take a seat opposite from him and wait
He
until...
watches you and then turns his attention to the food in that very much like, I'm not bothered.
Yeah. I feel like, honestly, Julius brought in his own food so he could eat here, too.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not
Yes.
that much food. He probably ate the majority of his food outside there, and quite honestly, probably doesn't have much of an appetite at this point.
Mm-hmm. He is not going to start speaking to you.
Mm-hmm. Julius is just affording him the courtesy of letting him eat his food until he seems pretty much finished.
Mm-hmm. Then he puts the mess kit bowl sort of on the ground and finishes the bit of water that you've given him.
Mm.
It seems very, patiently waiting for you to sort of redo his bonds.
Well, we don't need those quite yet. I have some questions to ask of you.
You do?
Sure.
I don't know what answers I would provide you that would not incense you more against me.
Yeah, he's such the victim in this situation.
Julius just, shakes his head a little bit. That's not going to cloud my judgment, I hope you know. I just want to know... Well, there's quite a lot of things. And he's gonna, lean forward a little bit on his, crossed knees and put his face, his cheek in his hand, and just say, what drives a man to separate a child from their parent like that? I wonder. Was it just because I'm a bastard child? Because you wanted power over my mother? Over the temple? Did it conflict with your plans? And if so, what the hell were they? Did you do all of it?
That's what I mean. You have already made up your mind about me. And while I cannot fault you for that, considering the circumstances, there is nothing that I could say to convince you that maybe I am not a monster.
I'm not asking you to convince me that you're not. In fact, that doesn't even matter in this situation. I want to hear your rational thoughts on what you did. We can compare notes.
Do you expect me to feel as if I must justify myself to you?
Julius shrugs. Do you feel like you have to?
I feel no need to justify myself and my actions to anybody. However, your smug demeanor implies that you feel as if in some way you are superior to myself, and that I must provide some justification, some rationale. I don't find that necessary for myself.
Sure, but then
However-
again... Sure, but then again, you're the one that hurt quite a few of the people I love, and me included. I get that. There's always the thing of hurting people to better whatever plans you have. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You've already done the things you've done. And like you said, you don't feel like you need to justify it. But... I'm trying to phrase how I want to say this. There's a reason you left the North. Why you came to us. Why you wanted to change the temple as you have. There's a reason that you chose to use the devils to get rid of me, versus the golden skulls. And Julius is going to watch his reaction to that. And I want to know why. Why didn't you go for the skulls that were more available in your northern country?
You can make a insight check.
Oh shit, okay. I rolled really high on that one. Thank you, Julius Dice. Oh, my insight's fucking terrible, though. That's an unnatural 20. I forgot I only had a +1.
I'm going to give you a chance. You can't really read what it is, but you can very much see in that moment of, like, why would you pick the devils over the skulls? There's a bit of, like, a resonance, like a little glitter to the eye, I think.
Mm-hmm. Julius will just carry on, trying to not let on that he's noticed. Just continue with, like, I know they're more readily available in Horitari. They don't have as much of a sink in as the devils do. And he'll kind of like tilt his head to the side a little bit. Are you an interest to them at all? To the Golden Skulls?
So now you wish to know my biography.
His what?
So now you wish to know my autobiography. Is that what you are asking me?
Julius just shrugs a little bit. I mean, I don't want to know your whole life story. I feel like I'd be bored to tears.
Well, then I'm sure the complexities of international politics will be similarly boring to you.
Julius kind of like lifts his hand out of his, or his head out of his hands again, and just sits up a little bit. I mean, that's a fair assumption. Politics isn't exactly everybody's game, but... Wonder if they're trying to keep an eye on you.
must admit, I don't know which group you're asking about.
The Golden Skulls. Did you do something to piss him off? I'm under the impression...
I find myself wondering why you care.
Well, it matters because you drove my family into this. You're the one that came from the north and came down here to us. You brought your baggage with you. And you put it on my doorstep.
You seem so determined that I am the root cause of all of your misery. I ask you this, Kei Satoshi. Don't you think that if it was not me who stayed, there would not have been others?
Julius kind of scoffs a little bit. I know better than you that my mother had her own arranged marriages she was going to have to get through eventually. I just don't think you were the best choice she had.
That is a question that can be debated and never answered. As who knows what other options she would have been presented with. But this is the reality we find ourselves in. Again, I find no reasoning either within my personal desires or within negotiating for my own circumstances that it would benefit me to try to explain to you the larger picture.
Man has got so many fucking frogs in his bedroll.
Yeah!
And the actions I have taken. You sit there haughty at the moment, because yes, you do have me bound.
Julius raises an eyebrow and looks at his unbound hands.
Not literally at the moment. However, I know that if I were to make a move against you right now, it wouldn't exactly go the way I'd be. So for all intents and purposes, I am still restrained. The question I keep wondering about is what exactly you're planning on doing when we reach the city.
Jules will debate for a moment on whether or not he wants to tell this man what he's doing. Certainly nothing in detail. Well, for one, we've a tapestry to deliver to the temple with its guardian. And I want you as far away from my parents as possible. I spent 20 years missing my parents, and I lost my childhood because of you. And I understand that you think that I have my mind made up. That I've made you into some sort of villain in my head. Maybe you're not all bad. Maybe you love your child. I can see that. And I care for you. But that doesn't mean that you can't also be an awful man. One that hurt children. That took away funding for people who desperately needed it. Where the hell did that money even go? Did you do it to just renovate the goddamn temple? Look, I understand that you think I'm some cretin, some little stain. That I'm worth nothing and I'm some arrogant prick that you think it's just worth absolutely nothing. But Lede sees something in me. She has since I was a child. And she sent me here because of you. It took me 20 years to be able to come back to here because of what you've been doing. Now, I don't know how your paladin business does with this, but the fact that she got me, the High Priestess's firstborn, to come in here and muck shit up to make sure that whatever you're doing is stalled at least, means something very bad was going to happen because of what you've been doing. And I don't know what that means for you, but it means a lot to me. And at this point, I'm so sick and fucking tired of what you've done. I can't have you anywhere near them anymore. I couldn't stand it. And it makes me sick. And maybe I make you sick too. But damn it, I have more claim to this place than you ever will. Her blood runs in my veins, not yours. That temple was my home and you took it from me.
You done having your temper tantrum?
I'd like to see if any of what I said got to him. Can I?
Roll another insight.
Yeah. Okay, that wasn't near. Oh, I was gonna say it's not nearly as good, but that's still a 19. God, I wish I had a better bonus. Fuck. Why am I doing this with the paladin with high charisma? Fuck.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't read him at this moment.
Fuck me. I should have had Nagi with me.
If you are finished attempting to, school me on a clearly lacking theological basis.
Julius is just gonna roll his eyes. Look, you might think I'm the arrogant prick, but really it's you. Jesus Christ, dude. And he's gonna stand up. Buddy, I hope that when... I hope that one day when death takes you, she puts you in whatever hell you're supposed to go to. Maybe you'll go to Lede, who knows? But I sure don't think it. And he's just gonna pick up the mess kit and everything and walk out the fucking door.
He doesn't say anything as you leave. And you are able to rejoin the rest of everybody.
I think Julius ignores everybody and just, like, puts his face in one of the horse's sides for a moment. He's just muttering to himself. Something, probably a mantra of, don't fucking kill him, don't do it, you can't. Julius, you can't. No. Don't. Like, he's just muttering to himself.
Joe, if you are even vaguely listening, it's over.
Yee. I basically had the volume on my phone down, and then when I heard Julius leave, it was like, okay, I can.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had some ideas talking to him, but I got the majority of what I wanted, and it's the fact that he showed some reaction about the Golden Skull shit. Julius thought about telling him about the council thing, but he wasn't nice enough to talk to him, so fuck him.
Sorry, he's an asshole.
I know he is!
Sure is.
I don't care that he's not nice. Julius thought about it and he's like, you know what? I hope this asshole dies. Actually. And goes to hell, maybe. As a treat to me.
With your help,
Julius-
we can stab her.
Julius doesn't have to be the bigger person in this because
Oh no.
this guy.
Yeah, look, Julius, the only reason he doesn't feel like killing him is the thing. He's like, I don't even need to kill you to know that you're an asshole. Like, oh yeah, I've so totally made up my mind that you're a bad person. Oh no.
But where could you possibly have come to that conclusion?
I don't need to justify my actions to you, he says, and then he asks me to justify my shit.
Right?
Well, not asks me, but it's mostly like the whole I've made up my mind. You've made up your mind about me, and then I've made up my mind about you shit. Arrogant prick.
I mean, you made up your mind by existing around him, listening to him talk, being thrown in prison by him.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Um,
it's totally not.
Yeah, I don't know where you're
Justified.
getting all these irrational.
I gave him a chance to explain himself. He didn't want to, so that's fine. Go to hell. Lide doesn't have to hear your screams.
Aster could maybe give a little bit of context, because he did somewhat justify himself to Aster, although it was shit justification, and it fell down at...
A lot of what Julius is what he's thinking right now is like, I just want to know why this man wanted this so badly. Why did you want what my mother had? And I get that you have your things, but it's like, Jesus fucking Christ, my guy. You could have done this a whole mantra of ways. You could have just, like, let me stay, and it would have probably worked out for you anyways. You didn't have to do this to me. God. Anyways.
Listen, sometimes shitty people accuse the people around them of having their own faults.
Yeah.
So, fucking shout out to Walsh.
Yeah, shout out to Walsh. You're a bitch.
Shout out to Walsh for being a little bitch.
Yeah, little bitch
Who
boy.
can't even look in the mirror.
Yeah. God, he reminds me too much of, a certain someone.
Beyond that, the party is able to make it to the city. And unfortunately, I think that is where I'm going to call it because this headache is getting worse.
Alright.
Yep.
No, fair enough.
I'm sorry. That sucks. Alright.
I was going to do more, but
Headache.
Ow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the Walsh conversation. I hated it.
Thanks, I hate it.
Thanks, I hate it.
Awful man.
An avocado! Thanks!